Hey, it's Soul. This is a pretty ratchet looking spreadsheet over here, and I'm here to talk about a new feature of Mythic Plus that Blizzard almost accidentally created, and that some players, maybe you included, may not appreciate one bit, while others may absolutely love and adore it. I call it Easy Mode of Mythic Keystone Dungeons, and I'm going to tell you how it works, but first, a word from our sponsors. Just kidding. First, I've got to give kind of a short summary on how Mythic Keystones are going to work in Season 2 of Shadowlands. Season 2 is introducing a Mythic Plus score, which is sort of like Raider.io, but it's definitely not. Its primary purpose is to be a vehicle of rewards and achievements. By completing a dungeon, you receive a score or a rating based on what and how you did. You get more score if you clear higher keys, you get a bonus if you beat the time by a lot, and there's a small penalty to your score if you don't beat it. And if you do really bad, like really bad, you don't score at all. The score is permanent and it can only go up. So if you complete like Aspires 10 on Fortified 1 week for score, and later you fail another Aspires 10 on Fortified, you don't lose the score. All the score really does is take the best runs that you've ever done and it gives you a rating. The higher the rating, the better stuff that you get. The other day, the good old folks at Wowhead put together a bunch of data and figured out the calculations on how the Mythic Plus score works. Me, though, being a dirty leech, I used the data to make this, well, ratchet spreadsheet that I have here so I could create all sorts of various models of how Mythic Plus can work for us. This model is really simple, and it's not 100% accurate, but I think it's pretty close. Here's how it works. What we're going to do is simulate what the game does. And, well, as you complete dungeons and record your best completion on the Fortified affix, as well as the Tyrannical affix, the game will smush it all together to create a combined score. The thing is that whichever key happens to be the, better key, that's going to be counted for 100% of the score. The worst key is going to be counted for only 33.3 repeating percent of its score. So if I were to complete a Spires exactly on time on a plus 10 Tyrannical and a plus 9 Fortified, this is going to give me a score of approximately 192.5. According to Wowhead, timing of 15 on both Fortified and Tyrannical is going to get you a score of 2,000. That's the requirement for Keystone Master, and just to kind of prove my point, it fits the calculations and things that I've set up. Hooray! Breaking it down a little bit, you can sort of see down here, you see each dungeon, you can see the better key score plus the worst key score equals the total over here times 8, and then you get that 2,000 and these little things light up, whoop-de-doo. Also on Wowhead, if you were to time 24s on every dungeon while ignoring the other affix just for the heck of it, this also gets you Keystone Master. The calculations, though, they're not entirely correct. I think you can manage to do a bunch of 23s and still be able to get something like this. Yeah, so we can get a model like this, but if you want more information on how that works, I'm going to have a link to the Wowhead article in the description. I do need to point out one more thing, which is critical to the point of this video and this topic, and that's the penalty for not timing a key. According to Wowhead, that is an up to minus 15 points for not timing a key. How it works is that if you miss the timer by over 40% of the original clear time, then that run is no longer worth any score. So you obviously can't do like a 10-hour miss of Tyrna Scythe. Going back to that model where we were doing the 10 and the 9 over here, let me clear the rest of this stuff out here. If you completed the Spires 10 and 9 but you didn't time it, in fact you just barely beat it, you get a penalty of 15 points for the better key and 5 points for the worst key. This is a calculation that I can't say is fully accurate because I'm not sure if the penalty is meant to apply before or after that 33.3% reduction. So let's get to the point. What is Mythic Plus Easy Mode? It's basically to get into the mindset of running keys based not on pushing them, which is, to beat the time, but to just complete keys before going over that plus 40% par. So while the other side's par time is 43 minutes, the easy mode par time, that is to get any points at all, is roughly 60 minutes. Here's a graphic with the normal par times and what I'm going to call the easy mode par times per dungeon. Halls of Atonement and Mist of Tyrna Scythe, they have easy mode par times of about 40 minutes, but the other dungeons are all close to like an hour. That's going to give teams that much more time for bad pulls or low DPS or just straight up mistakes. There's almost no point difference between timing 15s or doing easy mode 17s, and here I'll show you. So we got like a 15 spires of both dungeons, or both fixes, and you get that 250 score. But in Mists, for whatever reason, you push 17s, but you fail both the Tyrannical and the Fortified, so we mark the penalty here. So you see the 250 for the Spires versus the 270 minus the 20 point penalty. It's the same thing. There's the math. So quite literally, you can do 17s and fail all of it, mark the penalties, and we still get Keystone Master. That's it, guys. Just fail a bunch of 17s and then you're good to go. So easy. No, it's not. Here's the thing though, even easy mode isn't that easy because obviously you've got to get into a group to do these 17s, and maybe you don't really deserve to get in there. And if you are in a group full of these same sorts of people, can you still beat the easy mode time? Not too sure. Whatever the case though, this model here of just completing 17s, it's hardly realistic, even though a bunch of commenters are going to tear me to pieces over it. So what I'd like to do is first clear this out to save face. Let's clear this out. And what I want to do, since we have this spreadsheet to play with, I want to take us on a bit more of a realistic journey through Mythic Plus land. Never mind the easy mode for now, at least. Let's just take a ride through what the score could be like for what I'm going to consider kind of an above average player and their group of friends. So a dude and their 5 friends jump into the Mythic Plus thing for the first time. They start off with a 2, and obviously we're, you know, by lucky coincidence, we're always able to go through like a unique dungeon each time because we're so awesome. So anyway, we start with a 2, smash. We do a 4, smash that too, because come on, easy. We smash a 6, we smash an 8, we get all the way up to a 10 where we first get to experience the Tormented Affix. But you know what? We beat that too. We beat the 10, we time it, we're able to proceed to 11, a 12, and even a 13, all right? And now that we're sitting on a 14 key, it happens to be Spires again. And we happen to fail it. Sorry, we do the key, but we fail it. So we will mark this one failure right over there. There's a minus 15 points, but that puts us at 1102.5 points. It gets us the Keystone Explorer achievement right there. Go us. We can start upgrading some of our decent drops, if assuming that we had any decent drops, to that bit of a higher level. Maybe get some cool stuff from the vault and so on. So we start a new week. We happen to start with a 13. All right, we'll start with the 13 with our group. We fail it, but we have a group full of people with 13 keys. So we try another 13 and fail it. And we try another one and fail that too. And another. And another. So now we're down to 12s. Bummer. But we start doing 12s. And you know what? We're not doing so great at this either. We fail every key this week, which is really discouraging. We literally get nothing out of it. Or do we? So after the second week, this is the record that we came out with. Now, you'll see that some of these are highlighted a little bit differently. The ones that are highlighted in blue happen to be the keys that were done in the previous week, but they needed to be shifted over to the other side because, well, the way that I made this spreadsheet, the better key always has to be on the left side, the worst key always has to be on the right side. Sorry about that. It's a little confusing, but I hope you can bear with me on that. At any rate, though, we come out of these 2 weeks having failed 9 out of the, 16 keys that we've done, but we still have a score of 1635. That still gets us a Keystone Conqueror achievement, and frankly, we would not have been able to get this achievement in 9.0 because so many of these keys we just happen to fail. And the takeaway from this is that the achievements, again, they're based on score and not based on exactly timing keys. Obviously, timing keys will just get us more of that score. Now let's go back to easy mode. Easy mode is a concept that probably won't start taking off until at least a few weeks or a month into the season when things have really started settling in. You know, where we have people sporting a higher item level, when domination shards are in play, there's going to be newer and more powerful legendaries that were upgraded. And of course, people will have experience with how to handle the tormented affix and so on. And of course, people will start seeing how the score works, not from a news article or some broke-ass YouTuber's prophecy, but when they look at their own scores and they try to identify which dungeons they can snipe for that next milestone. But now let's explore what it's going to be like in the mid-season when, like I said, the realms and the players have kind of matured and people are more knowledgeable about what's going on. We'll go over a similar scenario that I went through in the previous season with my guild, where one of my guys who actually does Mythic Plus and does it well, he'll be like, hey Soul, you want to do a key? You want to do a 17? I'll be like, yeah dude, I'll do a 17. Let's bring some guildmates in here. So all of us will go in and we'll do the 17 and we'll fail it utterly. Absolute failure. And then next week we'll have a 16. So let's just start with a 16. Okay, so 5 of us have a bunch of 16 keys. Okay, so we run keys and we fail each and every one until we only have 15s left, and then we fail all those as well. Real bummer. Absolutely. Let me change this and have it reflect this appropriately. All right, clean that up. Good job. So let's go to next week. Since we didn't beat that 16, it decays and it went down to a 15. So now a bunch of us have 15s. And guess what? We're gonna fail a bunch of 15s as well because we're probably still learning the ropes. I'm probably just dragging people in. I'm like, all right, come on guys, let's go. Let's just complete these things. And at the very least, we are able to time them at that on the easy mode par, by the way. But we still don't do so great. In terms of like actually timing keys. So we fail every single one, or we do easy mode on every single key, but we're still at 1870 points, which gets us only 130 points away from getting Keystone Master. Now the biggest point of opportunity here is obviously going to be to actually time these keys. If we can nail some of these keys and actually time them, that's going to get us closer to that 2000 score. Of course, if I happen, let's just throw keys in here now. If someone happens to invite me into an 18, they're like, hey, dude, you want to go? I just want to complete it. Or we happen to just see something in the group finder. Someone's trying to sell it or just pawn it off because they just want to, they're really close and they want to really be able to time it. So I'm all right, cool. I'll go ahead and do your 18 Plaguefall or so. And that's going to get us like that much closer. So that's what I'm kind of getting at with the possibilities in the mid-season. I think there's definitely going to be a market for completing 15s to get vault loots, as there always was, but there's going to be this new market for not timing but just completing 17s in order to get Keystone Master. And that's kind of it for the possibilities. And so now I just want to turn it over to you folks. Like, do you think that this is the right move for Mythic Plus to go? Does this buffer make it more welcoming to a wider audience? Will there be an adequate supply and demand for like this sort of behavior? Or do you feel like this taints the prestige and that these people don't belong? Is there going to be a lot of pushback against players who are just trying to get in? I'd love for you to share your thoughts and have a discussion with me on it. So like the video if this information was useful, and I'll see you around. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay breezy.